News 46 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, we get an update on yesterday's structure fire.
An officer is attacked while attempting to serve a warrant.
And KPVM TV celebrates 20 years. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Zach Reinert. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, April 19th, 2017. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Zach Reinert for News 46.
Chief Lewis from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue gave News 46 an update this morning on yesterday's blaze.
Just after lunch hour, we were dispatched a report of a structure fire. While we were responding, we were receiving reports that there was people that may have re-entered the residence in an attempt to get animals out of the structure. So in turn, we turned it into a rescue assignment, adding additional resources and going under the mindset that as soon as we arrived on location, we were going to commence a quick attack on the open fire and then send people inside to see if there was anyone actually trapped within the structure itself.
There was some high heat, high flames at this point.
There was. Upon arrival, we had heavy fire showing, and it was windswept. It was extending rapidly. As I mentioned earlier, we commenced a quick exterior knockdown on the fire as crews went in through the front door. They encountered high heat, heavy fire conditions, sagging floors, and dark smoke that was almost down to floor level. So there was also, in some areas, an overabundance of personal property, so it added to the challenges for the firefighters to get through the structure in a very quick manner to see if there were any occupants that were trapped. In the end, after the primary and secondary searches were completed, there was no one. It was an unoccupied structure at the time of the fire.
You got that information from a neighbor?
That was actually the confirmation. There were several bystanders standing outside thinking that there were people, that they had observed someone going in, and it's uncertain whether anyone actually did go in, but the end-all result is that there was no one trapped within the structure.
So the residents were actually going on vacation, right?
Yeah, it's our understanding one of the occupants of the property arrived much later in the fire and informed us, in fact, the family had left about an hour and a half prior to the discovery of the fire, and they were on their way to California.
Let's talk about entering a structure to save animals.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. And there is absolutely very little cases that you should ever re-enter a structure. And the only thing that we can really think of, if you have a clear line of sight of someone who's trapped and you can get there without compromising yourself and pull the person to safety, that's one thing. Anything beyond that, don't re-enter it, because you don't have the training, you don't have the equipment, and you're just adding to the load as far as what could possibly happen.
We've had people, unfortunately, in our area who've passed away by re-entering the structure for their animals. We've even had times that we've had a fire put out and we found an animal and were able to save them.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us the information, but don't re-enter the structure. Allow us to do our job. We're trained. We practice this all the time. We have the proper equipment. We have the techniques that were in hand. You know, many people don't realize that there's a lot of communications that are ongoing, you know, while the apparatus is on the route to the call. We talk to each other, so we have a really good idea what the game plan is. When someone does something on their own, that disrupts our game plan.
And it also puts firefighters at risk, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that was the case yesterday. We had a lot of people in that structure. It was unsound to begin with. It was an older structure, so it was a single wide with additions. So there was a lot of, you know, the variables with this particular type of fire. And again, we had heavy fire and windswept conditions.
Nye County Parole and Probation officer was attacked by a resident's dog yesterday while on duty.
On April 18th, at approximately 2 p.m., the Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, and Nye County Animal Control officers responded to a residence in the 1000 block of North Landmark Avenue here in Pahrump for a report of a dog attack involving 2 bailiffs who were at the residence to serve an arrest warrant. The Pahrump Justice Court bailiffs arrived at the address, looked around, and attempted to contact the homeowners prior to entering their fenced yard. They saw no sign of dogs, and the owners did not come to the door. As they were making their lawful entry onto the property, 2 pit bull dogs charged them. The bailiffs decided to use less than lethal methods to defend themselves and the dogs from being injured. However, one of the dogs did attack one of the bailiffs, causing a head injury. The injured bailiff managed to exit the yard, called for assistance, and was subsequently transported to Desert View Hospital for treatment. Reportedly, the skin was not broken by the animal. Neither pit bull was injured. However, the dog that caused the attack is quarantined for 10 days at the owner's expense for observation to monitor for symptoms of any communicable diseases. Nye County Animal Control records indicate that the dog's owner has been cited multiple times in the past for issues regarding county licensing violations and dogs being at large. The bailiffs routinely take individuals who have outstanding warrants of arrest into custody outside of the courtroom. The individual in this case was not located at the address at the time of the incident and remains at large. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Well, Frank Britkowski from the American Red Cross is hoping to expand our local volunteer base.
In Southern Nevada, we help a family after disaster every 20 hours, and a handful of the disasters that we respond to are in Pahrump, so we want to make sure that we have a volunteer corps out here so they can go out and help people in their community.
Yeah, we've had you respond to several different disaster situations, including house fires, which you respond to a lot for the families who are left homeless at that time. So we don't have anyone locally?
We do. We have a few people locally, but we want to build out that team so we have a lot more resources out here in case anything really bad does happen. We would send people from Las Vegas who are close, but we want to have that core group of people here so that they can respond here and be the first ones to help these people that are left homeless.
What types of disasters does the American Red Cross respond to?
We respond to all kinds of disasters, home fires, floods, wildfires, anything that displaces people. We want to make sure that our services are offered to them.
What's the requirements for a volunteer?
Yeah, you'd have to go to our website, redcross.org/volunteer, to see an exact list of requirements. But basically what happens is you would go to this website, fill out an application, then our volunteer team would get in contact with you. They would determine what you want to do for the Red Cross. So whether it's a skill that you have that you want to build on, or if you want to learn a new skill, we'll be there to teach you and train you for these positions and get you started.
How rewarding is that?
It's incredibly rewarding. You get to see so many different people, you get to help people, and really when they're really down, I mean, after a home fire, after a flood, when you lose everything, a lot of people are just devastated, and it's great to have these volunteers here who can go give them a hug and get their life sorted out and help them.
This is a opportunity for a lot of people, even to 18 and up, who might want to expand their knowledge, expand their life, and just reach out to help others here in our community.
Absolutely. So we talked a lot about disaster response, but there's other ways to help the Red Cross too. And that's why you have to go to that website and just talk with the volunteer services people, because they will get you on the path to volunteering where you want to be.
All right. For more information on the American Red Cross, where can they go?
You go to redcross.org, and from there you can make a donation, you can sign up to be a volunteer, you can see what kind of programs we have in this community. So visit that website and find out.
All right, when we return, a protest at the National Security Site and a look at our past 20 years. We'll be right back.